Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to be talking about all of the movie titles that I picked up in the month of December on Blu-ray. So yeah, this is just my monthly Blu-ray pickup for December. So yeah, as it was December, I pretty much picked up some new Christmas movies on Blu-ray that I'd never seen before. So I'm going to kick off the list with those. So the first one I picked up was Krampus. Never seen this before. Watched it this year for the first time, and I must say I didn't really know what to expect with this film. I enjoyed it for what it was. I did think it was a good time. I think I'm probably gonna have to rewatch it again next year. Um, but yeah, it didn't win me over with the first viewing, but I did enjoy what it was on a surface level, as it were. I thought it had a great cast. But yeah, I'm going to check it out again next year for sure. So yeah, that is Krampus. Next movie I picked up was Robert Zemeckis' The Polar Express with Tom Hanks. I really dug this movie. I had a great time with it. Such a blast. The visuals in it I thought were fantastic. I had no idea that this movie came out back in 2004. I thought it was probably maybe a 2009, 2010 release, but nope, 2004. I thought it was just way ahead of its time for then. Um, if I'm honest, looking back over it, but yeah, I had an absolute blast with it. Like I said, the visuals were great in it. The scene where this ticket sort of gets caught up in the wind and goes on this little mini adventure, I just thought was great. Like I said, the visuals were just on point, and yeah, I just thought it was so entertaining. Great Robert Zemeckis movie. Yep, Polar Express. The next Christmas movie and final Christmas movie I picked up this month, another one that I'd never seen before, Arthur Christmas. Yeah, it sort of won me over with its cast. This movie, I thought it was great. There was a moment in the movie where I sort of felt it was losing its way, and I was like, right, can we get back to the story now? But overall, yeah, really, really dug Arthur Christmas. Like Polar Express, I think these are two definite staples for the yearly Christmas viewing. And yeah, really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, that is Arthur Christmas. That sort of wraps up the Christmas movies as well that I got this month. So yeah, next one I picked up was Candyman. This is obviously the 2021 sort of remake slash sequel, as it were. And yeah, me and my buddy Mike went to see this in Birmingham after we went to visit the vault. And yeah, um, I enjoyed this movie for what it was. It's not great, it's not perfect, but I got some enjoyment out of it. The big problem I have, and I think most of people have this problem, is politics is very much at the forefront of this movie. It's dead center, and I don't like politics in my movies, if I'm honest. It kind of left a bit of a bad aftertaste in the mouth. But having said that, I did actually quite like some of the kills in this movie. I thought they were creative for made for a bit of a decent slasher. And yeah, it's a mixed bag overall. But the way, like I say, I don't like politics in my movies, but there were still some things to enjoy about this film, and for me, that really sort of shone in the kills, as it were. I just, yeah, really, really creative, really well shot, and some really good music in this movie too. Um, but yeah, just overall, bit of a mixed bag. So yeah, next movie I picked up was M Night Shyamalan's Old. This is pretty much the definition of a good premise, poorly executed. Um, this sort of beach resort where these people go to and that they age rapidly, which I thought was actually a good idea, but like I say, this movie just poorly executes that concept. There are moments in this movie where I'm not even sure the director knew what the audience was supposed to be looking at. The acting in it is absolutely atrocious. particularly in the opening 10-15 minutes. Now, I've seen most of these actors in other films before, and they've been given good performances. Like I've seen the father in Amaros Peros, and I've seen the mother in Phantom Thread. But I put that down to the director. He did not get a good performance out of his cast at all in this movie. There's a moment where the mother gets to the beach and she's like, "Oh, I've got chills," and I was like, "No, no, no, you don't. I don't believe that for a minute." But yeah, it's just the end of it. Actually, I thought was the saving grace. M Night's pretty much infamous for his twists, and I actually thought this one had a bit of a decent one. I actually thought the ending was the strongest point of the film, if I'm honest. But yeah, this is it's such a confusing movie. Definitely a difficult one to gather your thoughts about, in my opinion. But yeah, it was just not as good as Candyman, in my opinion. But it was just a bit all over the place with its concept and its execution. But I did find the ending the saving grace. So yeah, that is old. Next movie I picked up was Stillwater with Matt Damon. Um, Two words to describe this movie: disappointing and boring, if I'm honest. Biggest sin a movie can commit, in my opinion, is be boring. And that is unfortunately what I felt through this entire film. Maybe I missed something, when watching this for the first time, but I wasn't entertained in the slightest. I was struggling, to keep focused with it, and yeah, just overall disappointed. Such a shame because I really do like Matt Damon's movies, but yeah, luckily there's another one on this list with him and that I did enjoy. But yeah, Stillwater. It was just disappointing in a nutshell. Disappointing and boring, unfortunately. Next movie I picked up, please don't hate me for this one. I know this movie came out this year and it was universally fucking hated, for lack of better words. But I did pick up Space Jam: A New Legacy. This movie's not good. Now, you're probably wondering why the hell did I pick it up? I dug the animation in it. That is the strongest, element of the movie, in my opinion. It's the biggest praise I can give this movie. The animation is great. I love Looney Tunes. I love DC animation growing up as a kid, and there's a little bit of a snippet in there with DC animation. That is pretty much the only reason why I bought this movie is I dug its animation. The positives start and end there. Um, that's it. Everything bad about this movie, I think, has already been said. It is a giant Warner Brothers advert, with some Warner Brothers, elements that should not be in this movie, are not appropriate to be in a kids movie. And it is just absolutely baffling, and it's a mess. This movie's problems go through the roof, but like I say, the only reason why I got it was for the animation. I just absolutely dug it and thought it was looked pretty decent. The color palette to the movie's great, but yeah, that animation really won me over. But other than that, this movie sucks. Next up, I picked up the Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It. Now, I like the first two Conjuring movies. I think they're pretty good, in my opinion. I have a good time with them, and I had a good time with the third one as well. Now, I'd seen a lot of people sort of say this is the weakest one of those three Conjuring movies, and yes, it absolutely is, in my opinion. But I still had a good time with it. I thought the soundtrack to this movie was great. The scares don't really work. They're jump scares that you can see coming a mile off. It relies heavily on them, and it just gets a bit stale. But overall, I still really enjoyed it and had a good time with it. I can't really explain why. Maybe I'm going to hate this movie on a second viewing, possibly, but I sort of had a good time with it, and I wasn't really much to complain about other than those poor jump scares. But yeah, again, another sort of mixed bag of a movie. didn't think it was great, but I didn't hate it. I kind of just sort of liked it okay. But yeah, that's Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It. Next movie I picked up was Don't Breathe 2. I thought this was okay. I thought it was okay. Solid 6 out of 10. A lot of people don't really like the direction it took, the sort of villain, as it were, from the first movie. I thought the first movie had a great concept. It felt very original, very fresh. Horrific ending. Um, but yeah, overall, I thought this was okay. It's not a patch on the first one, but I thought it was okay. In a nutshell, I was somewhat entertained by it, but it didn't blow my socks off at all. But yeah, that's really all I can say about it. So yeah, that's Don't Breathe 2. Next movie I picked up was a movie I wasn't really going to pick up. I didn't really have sort of any interest in picking this movie up, but like some of these movies, they were on the 2 for £20 deal on HMV, so I was like, why not? I'll give this one a go. And that's Ron's Gone Wrong. I had a lot of fun with this film. I thought it was really, really entertaining. The design and the color palette to this movie, I thought was great. It was really, really creative, and I just had a really, really good time with it. And yeah, I can't recommend this movie enough. If you've not seen it, check it out. I had a blast with it. Thought it was really, really fun. There's another animated movie on this list as well that I picked up that came out this year that I'll be getting to shortly. And yeah, Ron's Gone Wrong is one of the better movies from this year. Don't let this one slip under your radar. I thought it was great. So next movie I picked up was The Last Duel. Um, what sort of won me over about this movie was its cast. Jodie Comer, Adam Driver, Ben Affleck, and Matt Damon. I thought this movie was good when I'd sort of reached the end of the first two acts, as it were. I thought it was okay. I thought it was a bit slow. But the third act was where this movie really shines for me. It really won me over in its third act. Just this great medieval looking movie with this absolutely fantastic cast. And yeah, I'm going to try and give this one probably another rewatch in the future because I did actually quite enjoy it. And I think now that I've seen the full picture, as it were, the full scope of this movie, I think I need to give it another rewatch through a different pair of eyes. But yeah, I really enjoyed it on the whole for what it was. So yeah, that is The Last Duel. Next movie I picked up was from Disney, and that is Jungle Cruise with Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson. Uh, the pair of them have absolutely great chemistry in this movie. I was massively entertained by it. And yeah, just I didn't really expect much going into it. I was like, okay, Jungle Cruise, let's just see it and let's get it over with. But the entertainment factor is through the roof. Just really, really had a good time with it. It is cliched in parts, of course it is. But overall, I enjoyed it. A solid 7 out of 10 for me. I can't really say much more than that. It's a lot of fun. This movie, it knows what it is. It's very self-aware, but it has fun with it and it does go with it. I thought Jack Whitehall was actually probably the best character in the movie, in my opinion. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. At the end of the day, it's fine. It's inoffensive and it was entertaining. I can't really say much more than that. So yeah, that is Jungle Cruise. The next movie I picked up is the other animated movie from this list, and that is The Mitchells versus the Machines. Yeah, man, I found this movie entertaining. It was great. From the creators of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and the Lego movie, those are two movies that I absolutely really, really enjoyed. And this movie is very, very much in the same vein as those movies. If you did like those movies, I think you'll absolutely love this. The cast of this really surprised me as well, with like Danny McBride and Olivia Colman, who I just didn't expect to be in this movie. But yeah, I just had an absolute blast with this movie and I had a ton of fun. Liked it a bit more than Ron's Gone Wrong. But yeah, really, really enjoyed the look of this movie as well. Just a really, really good time and a lot of fun. So yeah, that is the Mitchells versus the Machines. Next movie I picked up was Daniel Craig's last outing as James Bond, I should say, and that is No Time to Die. Went to see this at the cinema, and yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Daniel Craig has never really won me over as James Bond in his five movie tenure, and I think I think there's a good movie in here. I do think it is about 40 minutes too long, this movie. I think a lot of it could have been trimmed. There's a lot of fat on this movie that I think just could have gotten rid of. There were things about this movie I liked. There were things about this movie I didn't like. Without going into spoilers, there's something James Bond does in this movie about halfway through the movie, and it took me out the movie completely. I didn't like it at all. The ending to this movie is very sort of polarizing. I think some people will love it, some people will hate it. am still of two minds about it. I haven't really made my mind up about it yet. I've only seen the movie twice. I think I need to let it marinate for a bit, if I'm honest. I still haven't sort of formed a decent opinion about this movie yet. But as of right now, it's a solid 6 out of 10 for me. You know, like I said, there were things about it I liked a lot. There were things about it I didn't. The standout to me that I really enjoyed was the scenes between Craig and Ralph Fiennes' M. I thought the two of them had absolutely fantastic chemistry together, and I just really dug the scenes that they were in together. I just thought they were great and had this great dynamic. But yeah, I think Rami Malek as the villain was a little bit wasted. Probably one of the weaker elements of the movie, in my opinion. But yeah, overall, like I said, solid 6 out of 10. Things I liked about it, things I didn't. Yeah, that's No Time to Die. Yeah, I'd say another thing that I really liked about this movie were sort of like the musical cues. Um, Back to sort of On Her Majesty's Secret Service. I thought it had like a great sort of homage to that movie. But yeah, overall, yeah, like I say, things I did and things I didn't like about it. So yeah, that is No Time to Die. Next movie I picked up was actually a bootleg of Trial of the Chicago 7. But after a Blu-ray this movie for fucking ages. I know it's all this is like a sort of a Netflix original movie, and yeah, I really dig this movie. I love my courtroom dramas. This is an absolutely fantastic cast with Sacha Baron Cohen, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Mark Rylance, Michael Keaton, Frank Langella. Just absolutely brilliant cast, and yeah, I've been after this movie for quite a while. Eddie Redmayne as well. Um, yeah, just really, really, I'm glad to finally own this on physical. And I just had an absolute blast rewatching this on Blu-ray. The Blu-ray looks absolutely stunning as well, um, in my opinion, and I just yeah, absolutely love and adore this movie. One of my favorites from last year. So yeah, that is Trial of the Chicago 7. Next movie I picked up was a Spanish release, I believe, of Gunpowder Milkshake. Um, yeah, this really sort of piqued my interest, shall I say, because of its cast. I really quite like Karen Gillan. Lana Headey, I think, was pretty good in, obviously Game of Thrones and Fighting with My Family. And Paul Giamatti as well. You know, anything he's in's a plus, like Jungle Cruise and this. I just really, really dig him when he pops up in movies. But yeah, this was a bit of a generic action movie, as it were. You know, if you like that type of thing, this definitely be up your street. I just thought the characters didn't have as much development as I wanted them to have, but on a surface level, very pleasing. Just after that, don't really expect much. But yeah, I did enjoy it for what it was. Um, yeah, just that's all I can really say about it. So yeah, that is Gunpowder Milkshake. Just not really a deep movie in my opinion. Going into two steelbooks now that I picked up, actually from Amazon Italy. Big shout out to Keith from Euphoria Pictures who in his video sort of pointed me in the direction to pick these up. So the first one I got was James Wan's *Malignant* on Steelbook. I know, obviously, Jason Brett absolutely adores this film. I can completely understand why. I really, really had a blast with this movie. You know, I went into this movie completely blind, as it were, not knowing anything about it, and that is probably the best way to go into this movie. It didn't really win me over in the first 5, 10, 15 minutes. I thought the acting was a little bit hokey in places, and I was like, okay, where's this going? What's it doing? But once I'd seen the film and started to digest the whole picture, as it were, I was very much impressed with it, and I just enjoyed it, shall I say. Very sort of difficult to talk about without going into spoilers, but a very different and unique horror film. And I think this one is sort of going under the radar a little bit. It's been very polarizing, I think, amongst people who have seen it as well. It, I've seen people's opinions change over this movie as well. After multiple viewings, and for me, I was entertained by it. I thought it was really, really original, and in a nutshell, kind of a breath of fresh air. Because of how different I found this movie to be, I really enjoyed it for its somewhat, originality, and just had a good time with it. Um, just a decent horror film, in my opinion, and I enjoyed it, and it just sort of ticked those boxes for me, as it were. I don't know where this is going to go in terms of favorite films of the year, but I think it's definitely in the mix. So yeah, that is *Malignant*. Next movie I also picked up on Steelbook and got off Amazon Italy is the 4K of June. Um, Visually, this movie I think is breathtaking. It is stunning. It's probably, in terms of visuals, one of the best movies I've ever seen. Period. Denis Villeneuve absolutely hits his movies out of the park in terms of visuals. Movies like Prisoners and Sicario, Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, they look phenomenal on any sort of screen. The bigger the screen, the better, and this is no exception as well. I felt the cast in this movie was absolutely great. As I said, the visuals were great, the scenery absolutely stunning. I just couldn't really get into the story with this movie. I don't know what it is about the June story. I just can't really get into it. Um, Everything else about this movie works. I just can't get into the story. That it's probably just me. I'm not taking anything away from this movie. Absolutely not. But I've only seen it the once. I'm gonna give it a rewatch again soon, and yeah, just gonna see what it's like on the standard telly. See what it's all about again. But yeah, overall, very, very pleased with it. Some of the scenes in this I just thought were absolutely exceptional with like the sandworms. It was just terrifying, sort of, to see these on like a sort of grand scale that they were. I wasn't really expecting, but yeah, just absolutely fantastic. Apart from the fact I couldn't get into the story, this movie is pretty much practically flawless. It just looks absolutely stunning. So yeah, that is June. Next movie I picked up was the Courier with Benedict Cumberbatch. Pretty similar to the next movie I've got here. I need to give this movie another rewatch. I don't think I was really giving it my full attention the first time I saw it, and I just really need to give it another rewatch. That's why I've picked it up on Blu-ray. I'm glad it came out because I think it sort of had a delayed release, as it were. And yeah, I just really sort of wanted to get back into this movie. Like I say, I'm gonna have to give it another rewatch to sort of give another informed opinion on it. But yeah, can't really say much more than that. Sort of have to refresh my memory about it. Same with the next movie as well. So yeah, that is the Courier. Next movie I picked up is from Criterion, a movie by Regina King, and that is One Night in Miami. Yeah, I remember sort of seeing a lot of award movie pop up in like award seasons in the last year, and I was dying for it to get a physical. I think I watched this movie on my phone, which is never a good idea. Um, if you want to watch like a sort of a serious movie. But I'm so glad finally it's got a Blu-ray release, and I'm looking forward to giving it another rewatch. And again, I need to refresh my memory on it. It has this great concept to it, which I just really dug the first time round. But like I say, I need to have that refresh with it and give it another watch properly on the television this time. So yeah, really looking forward to rewatching this again, and that is One Night in Miami. Now, these last two pickups I got are box sets from Arrow, and the first one we've got is Gamera, the Showa era. I binged watched all of these movies in one day, actually, as it were. Same with the second box set as well. And these movies are silly, but my word, are they entertaining as hell. The giant monster movies. These really ticked all the boxes because I'm completely sort of new to that genre. I'm going into it completely blind. I've seen kaiju movies before. Like I've seen the original '54 Godzilla, which I really enjoy. '30s King Kong. But my knowledge of kaiju movies doesn't really go beyond that. So I thought, right, let's give Gamera a go and see what it's all about. And yeah, I was entertained to say the least. I had such a good time with this box set. A lot of these movies, they aren't they aren't great. They aren't really winning any Oscars, shall we say? Let's be honest. But the entertainment factor for me was through the roof, and I really, really dug these movies. I just had an absolute blast with them. So yeah, can't really say much more than that. A pleasant surprise that I was just really, really pleased with and entertained by. So yeah, that is the Showa era of Gamera. And as a companion piece to that, I picked up the Heisei era of Gamera as well. Yeah, these are sort of like the '90s trilogy, as it were, of Gamera, and you've also got the Brave in there as well. I think these are a lot more competent movies, shall I say, um, as it were. But yeah, my word, these were a bit of a step up to the Showa era, and same again, entertainment was through the roof with these movies. I just had a great time with them. For two blind buy pickups from Arrow as well, absolutely great, and particularly with the Showa era as well. You know, you only get 4 discs in that set, so a couple of movies have to sort of share a disc. And it didn't really affect the quality of the movie, in my opinion. I thought on Blu-ray, all of these movies looked pretty good, and yeah, I was just pleasantly pleased, as it were, with these Gamera movies, and it was such a joy to sort of divulge into the world of Gamera for the first time, and I was just so entertained. So yeah, that is the Heisei era of Gamera. So yeah, those are all of my pickups for the month of December. So yeah, I'm gonna leave the video there and just say hope you've enjoyed it. At the time of filming this, tomorrow is New Year's Eve, so I wish everyone who watches, who's subscribed, a big massive thank you, and I wish everyone sort of happy New Year. I hope everyone's had a good Christmas given the circumstances, and yeah, let's just hope 2022 has been better than the last couple of years, shall we say, and we're on to bigger and better things. So yeah, I'm going to leave the video there and say thanks very much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.